Hi and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time of viewing, thank you for tuning in. For those of you who are returning, welcome back and thank you very much for supporting the channel. I wanted to do this video for everyone to see the latest versions, which is version 4 of the Super Viper HSD 105mm EDF jet. I've already had the HSD L39 model, which if you've seen on the channel, the videos are there of the model and the follow-on to this, not just the unboxing and the component video, but I carried on with a few improvements and setup videos as well, which I intend to do the same here with the Viper jet. I hope you find the video useful. I'm not going to do like I did with the L39, I'm not going to do the unboxing video, but what I will say about the packaging is HSD's done a wonderful job, a big improvement, didn't need it, but a big improvement in the packaging. So there's a few photographs which hopefully I'll put on the screen at the same time or within the video. It's not unpacking, it being unpacked, it's just a few photographs of how the box looks and each layer as you take the components out of the box. One thing I'll say is the model's going to arrive undamaged. It's got to have a heavy blow. The packaging is superb and this is a 10 out of 10 for me to HSD for such a wonderful packaging that they've done. Well thought out, well planned, well engineered. So great job HSD. So we'll crack on with going through the component video. We'll do a component by component video. I've unpacked the box already and I've got the components here in front of me. So you know, I'll show component by component and let's hope you find it useful. Thank you. Right, you'll see before you the components laid out. I've still got the plastic covering on at the moment. I've left it that way until we have a look at each individual component. But you will see as we go around, there's the MFU MultiFunction Unit instruction booklet. I have one of these in my L39 EDF. And they're a wonderful piece of kit, great to use, and of course you've got the safeguard of the battery backup as it's a dual battery supply to it. Everything's packed well in the box, as you can see, each component is also individually wrapped, so we can only assume, we'll find out as we get to unpack things, but we will assume that everything's going to be in as left factory packaging. But so far so good, very impressed. All the components look to be there and without damage. Okay, the first component we'll have a look at is the tail plane, the horizontal stabilizer. It's very nice plastic ends on the end to give it the strength, and you'll see there the lugs, locating lugs, and the tube where the tailplane spar will go. The plastic will give it the extra bit of strength, and the tube will run along the back with the aluminium spar to hold it in place and give it the strength. The finish, I have to say, is excellent. On my L39 jet, that you could see the air bubble releases. Here you can see them, which if I come close enough, they are there, but they're not as prominent as they were on the L39. So a massive improvement there. I was impressed with the finish on the L39, but this is silky smooth with very few air outlet bubbles. That's on both on the upper surface and lower surface. As you can see here, we've got really good strong aluminium push rods, ball linked on either end, so no slot whatsoever, very strong, and a digital servo which is covered in the white tape. The connection into the fuselage will be by this for the servo, so this plug here. On the L39 this has got a multi-pin plug, but also I see on the fuselage, which we'll look at in a minute, the there is a socket, a fixed socket into the fuselage that this will put on, so not quite as good as the L39 idea, but it's also sufficient and very good and a sturdy connection. I really like the metal horns that are used on the HSD designs, and this goes through onto a substantial plastic retainer on the back. You can hear the plastic, it's not aluminium but plastic, but having to replace one of these on my L39, they are very substantial and work great. The hinging isn't on the foam, it is in a live hinge. You can't see these as such, but you can see the hinge pins with 3 on the holding the elevator on. These are all also look like they're pinned in place. It's very substantial and no chance of coming away, or a foam hinge wearing loose over time. So great job on this. I'd just like to make a point now that I've not seen any of the earlier versions. This is version 4, but I haven't seen versions 1 to 3, so I can't really comment on any advancements that there's been between the versions of the Super Viper jet, but so far very impressed. Okay, moving on to the wings now. Very similar to the tailplane. Very substantial horn down here, the double horn, and a nice steel push rod to ball links at either end, and again a digital servo in there underneath the tape. You can now see the hinges, which was typical on my L39, but they are again very substantial, held rock solid in place, and a pin as opposed to a hinge in the foam. These jets do fly fast, so but I'm sure the hinges are well and truly up to the fit for purpose and up to the job. You can see the landing lights there at the front, or navigation lights, sorry. One on each wing, one will be red, one will be green, accordingly to the scale. Again, just turning this over now and looking at both of the top surfaces. The decals are very well applied with no wrinkles. You can see here the upper plate to the mounting for the retracts. I have ripped the gear out of my L39 and you know, rest assured this is not just a simple block. It's actually casting in the foam process, the production process, and very well secured. Also, you can see here where the tube runs through, these will be breathe holes in the construction, but the outer tube is here for the joiner to go through. The retracts are braked, so this is a great feature. I've loved this on my L39. It is a floater, so on landing I'm using all the strip, and 9 times out of 10 I'm glad I've got some electronic brakes to slow the model down towards the end of the strip. So it has saved me running off the airfield a couple of times. So they're a nice touch. Excellent quality again. There's no real evidence of breathe holes anywhere on this in the manufacturing process. So whether they've been sanded off before painting, because these are hand painted, I'm not right sure, but the surface quality is excellent. I would say very close to it being a composite. It would be very difficult to tell from just a little distance away. They have a multi-pin socket, which you can see there. That's for all the connections of the lights and the flap and air-along servo. That's the spar, and the locating lugs that are on the fuselage will fit into here, and the wings are held on with the 2 bolts there. We'll cover that on a construction video, but again, very impressed. High quality finish, no dimples, no imperfections, and the paint finish is second to none, really. Yeah, very nice. You've got some of the air breathing holes here, so but this is the underside of the wing and won't affect the performance of the wing, but there are a few breathe holes under there where it's, or venting holes when they make the wing. But great job. Again, not knowing what the other versions were like, I have to say the quality of the finish of this is far better than the L39 that I purchased about 18 months ago. Again, very happy so far. Okay, the next component's the rudder. Again, this is very good M3 steel push rod. Again, the aluminium horn and a digital servo with ball links. Again, the surface is rock solid, no flop. Got again the hinges that are in there, live hinges as opposed to the press foam hinge. There's a breathe hole up here for where the spar's running through. There's 2, which it's not a tube that you'll put it in like on the L39. You've got a tube where it goes down, but this is a carbon spar up there for strengthening. We have the plastic base, which is going to give it the strength. It will sit onto the fuselage and be screwed or bolted through there. The wire for the servo, for the rudder servo, it is just a wire, but again there's a fixed socket on the fuselage for this to fit into. Again, there's odd breathe holes. You can just perhaps make one out there, but very difficult. And again, a finish that really could be a composite quality finish. Excellent job, and HSD are very lucky to have somebody who can spray to this kind of quality. No runs, no overlaps, no nothing on the paint surface. Okay, so the next component is the canopy and cockpit area. Got 2 very nice pilots in there that are very scale in size. Instrument panels are on. It's very difficult, I think, to film because the light now isn't very good through the window, but there are vinyl stickers that are showing the instruments very well. One thing that I like about this Canopy is on my L39, the canopy and its moulding around it, it was on quite a big molecular structure regarding the polystyrene. So on the cowl top here, the coaming of a full size plane, these bubbles are split open and I have a big cut across the top of there now, and it was purely due to the size of the molecules in the foam that over a period of time have given away and split open. However, on this one, the finish is much better. To me, the molecules are not quite the 35 parts per meter squared like they are on the total aircraft, but for sure they are a lot better than what they had in the L39. So this is a massive improvement in comparison to the L39. It's finished very nice. The paintwork again excellent. No bleeding into the cockpit areas onto the perspex. So very well done. Somebody spent a lot of time, I think, on that. And as you can see on the underside, you can actually change the pilots if you want to do by cutting these blocks out and unscrewing them and screwing them back on. If you cut around this area here, all this just pulls out as one seat unit and the pilot, so they could be changed if wanted. But for me, these are excellent, very nice, semi-scale look, and of an EDF, definitely worthy of leaving in there. Okay, I'll quickly cover this because this will be on the next part of the video that's showing the fuselage part, but you'll see here the multifunction unit instruction manual. This is in my L39 and I absolutely love this. It makes it so much easier. I'm a Futaba user and S-Bus user, so it's one wire from your S-Bus channel into this unit, and you can see the leads. It's there, the lead to connect this to the unit. But this is great because it's just all automatic. You plug it in and away you go. Everything's working to the factory settings, which on my L39 was a great starting point. The other thing I like about the unit is that it's dual battery powered. So it takes two lipos. That's the cabling there for that. They then plug into your lipos, and you've got the security of a battery backup. So if one of your lipos fail, that's supporting the entire electronic system, so there's servos, lights, and the retracts, if one of the lipos fails, the other takes over. So a lovely feature. I know, looking at the early videos, or the versions of the early videos on versions 1 to 3, that unit wasn't in the jet, in the Super Viper, but it is now, and this is, for me, this is great, a big plus point, and super that it's there. One thing that I'm not too sure about at this stage is the main wing spar, and that one's the tail spar. Certainly on the tail spar there's quite a bit of flex in it. It is aluminium, both are aluminium tubing, and I have my concerns about that, but HSD know what they're doing, so I will take this out as a factory supplied test on my maiden flight. Long term I'm not so sure, I may go to carbon with that, but we'll see how we go. Very blingy in colour. The main spar, no problem, I've got no problem at all with that, but the tailplane spar feels a little bit too flexible in my opinion, but once we've got the plane rigged up, we'll see. It may not be as flexible, because I would say at least 1/3 of that will be inside the fuselage, so really the flex can only be in at either end of the spar. So, but as I say, I will take it out as supplied for the maiden flight, at a point where you'll be able to see that the components supplied are, or hopefully not, but are as you know, fit for purpose. And okay, now down to the last two components to look at. This is the fuselage and the nose section. HSD have thought about everything, and as you can see, it's in two sections. This is to allow the pilot and owner to make a decision on how he wants it for transport purposes. You can leave this, you know, separate if you wish and just bolt it together. It is only bolted and captive nuts, which you can see on this side down there. There's 4 captive nuts. On my L39 I did bolt it at first and only kept it bolted, but eventually I did glue it together because I have a big enough vehicle to transport the model in constructed. So for me it was better that I bolted and glued it together, because I was never going to remove this. As you can see, for the these are the wires, servo wires and retract wires, so your nose leg wire. You can see here, to put the two halves together, that is a multi-connector that is on the end of the cabling, already factory installed, and there is the other part of the multi-connector. So when this is fastened together and bolted together, the cable just runs through these holes here and is very simply connected up. Looking inside, there's a multifunction unit. As I say, this is a big plus for me from as I was making my choice whether I would buy this model or not. I was a bit reluctant when all the videos I saw was not got this unit in, but once I realised that the unit was included, then I went ahead and decided to buy the model. I would have been a bit reluctant based on the previous systems that had the model. It was just basically a PC board with wires soldered, so all the servo wires were soldered, and to me it all looked a disaster waiting to happen through either a short circuit or over a period of time the soldering giving away because the wires were exposed, and if they kept being knocked as you're putting your battery in and out, it could snap the solder. So this is great, and again, well done HSD for this. This unit's so simple to use. I won't do a usage video on it because there are plenty out there, but on one of my channels, on my on one of my videos on the L39, I've actually done the video on operating this, so if you do want to watch it, it's there. But it's very simple. It's the same as your transmitter menus, and I've used all the multifunction unit settings as opposed to my transmitter settings. Looking down, you can see there's plenty of room there to get flight packs in. You'll definitely get and easily get into there 6,000 milliamp packs, and there'll be room either in there or in there for your 2-cell lipos for the multifunction unit operation, which is a good thing because, you know, we can adjust the CFG accordingly by moving the batteries up and down as opposed to adding lead here, there and everywhere. Looking at the length of these cables, I would think, it doesn't say it in the instruction manual, but I would think the battery placement probably for the MFU will be in there. But as I say, we'll find that out as we start to try to balance the model once it's constructed. As per the L39, there's a lovely plastic clip there for holding the canopy in. No issues with that at all on the L39. Looking down the side, you can see the multi-pin plug where the main wing connects into. That's your main spar. I've seen on the videos, and they've not changed this, which is a bit of a mistake, I believe, from HSD. But anyway, we'll see how we go. But as you look down there, you can actually see the wires crossing there, and it does say on other videos I've watched from the earlier models, it does say to be careful of your wire runs when you're pushing it in, especially with it being aluminium. Potentially they can be sharp and cut cables as you push through, so that's a point to think about and watch later. Again, like the rudder and elevator, this is all tailplane, sorry, this is all plastic. This area, it's a huge amount of plastic. On this side as well, you can see where it's coming up here, so that's making the area where you fasten the main wings to the fuselage, it's making it very substantial and strong. These lugs then go into the wing, and again they're just screwed and bolted through into place. There is access underneath by 5 screws or 4 screws by the looks of it to get access into the ESC and into the fan unit at the back. We'll just have a walk round now and have a look up here, and you'll see for the tailplane, the horizontal stabilizer, again a big plastic area here. Don't forget that there's the also the plastic on the end of the tailplanes, so making it a good strong seal, let's say, because it's plastic to plastic. So that seems very secure and comforting. And there's the socket there for which was fixed in place for the one of the elevator servos. So although you've got the flexible wire just coming out of the end of there, it will be easy once it's on the spar just to push that in. Again, great finish, very little venting holes on there, and very impressive job. The decals that are on it are very well installed or applied. Not sure if they are water, feel like actually water-based ones. And this actually part here, oh no, it is a transfer, it looked like it was painted, but it is a water. They're definitely water transfers. Very well applied. Not sure if, you know, personally I would like perhaps not as many on, and you know, just to give the owner the opportunity to put things on, but what's on there is well applied. So I'm sure there's space like here, here and here if you want to put your own on, any of your own details. I've personally gone, with it being red, I've gone for a few Ferrari shell decals to put on mine, but they're not that big, so there's plenty of areas for me to get those on once the model's built. It is a Ferrari looking, or Ferrari red looking colour scheme, so shame not to put the Ferrari stickers on. Overall, what I can say so far is very impressed, happy now that I've got the model and seen the model. I had 1 or 2 reservations after ordering and waiting for the model, because I've had to wait 3 months because of the situation there's been with the worldwide transport issues, getting things from China. But as they say, all good things come to those who wait, and I'm very happy with what I've received, and looking forward to get it put together, and of course the maiden flight. The weather's not too good at the moment. It's still winter coming into spring in the UK, so getting a flying slot is, or a flying opportunity is, let's say, sketchy to say the least. The field also is still a little bit wet and muddy, so I'll post this video on now, and once I've done the maiden flight, I'll post that on also. But thank you for watching. Hope you come back for the maiden flight video. I'll do also a construction one in between now and the maiden flight. But thank you for watching, and please come back and see later videos. Thank you.